All right, let's move on to the next email today.
All right, cool. The next email comes from Stormchaser73. It says, "This makes me feel old, but I cannot believe these movies are turning 30 years old. 1989. What are your thoughts? Back to the Future 2, Batman, Bill and Ted's Dead Poet Societies, Field of Dreams, Glory, Look Who's Talking, Major League, Pet Cemetery, Roadhouse, Say Anything,
Roadhouse,
Uncle Buck, Indiana Jones 3, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Thanks, and keep up the great work." Robert, all of these make me feel extremely old, probably like Bill and Ted's the most, but it's pretty crazy. What's your reaction to these, and do you have any favorites?
Well, at first I'm thinking he left off Star Trek V, The Final Frontier,
Well, of
directed
course.
by the mighty Shatner, a Canadian.
Yes.
Which also
when
came
the
out-
Almighty asks you to do something, you don't ask for his ID.
and also the James Bond film License to Kill came out in the summer of '89. You know what? I actually chart the course of my life through kind of like Scott Mantz movie release dates. When movies came out.
Yes, you do.
So it is terrifying to me when I realize that all of the films he listed are really classics of the genre. So great list. But it just makes me realize I'm that much closer to death. And how
Welcome to the John Cantor Show, everybody.
but you know what's so great? What's great is that the memory of these films endure. And that we got such great material that's endured for 30 years. Pop culture usually comes and goes. I mean, do you remember, other than Flock of Seagulls, I Ran? They're like a 35-year-old band.
yeah,
Who remembers, who remembers them? The fact that these movies are still in the consciousness of the public, your consciousness, the fact that we're talking about them now, this is a great thing.
Yeah, the one that really, first of all, Roadhouse is 30. Roadhouse is 30. By the way, Sam Elliott's aged like 3 years since Roadhouse.
Along
if you look
with
at him in
Marissa
Roadhouse,
Tomei.
along with Marissa. So here's the thing. The one that really stands out to me on this is Batman, and I'll tell you why. And some of you have heard this story recently. You guys know that one of the things that kind of propelled me to leaving the corporate overlords I worked for to do my own thing was the passing of my best friend growing up. He died just a little over a year and a half ago now, and his name was Brendan. And he always used to say, life's too short to not be happy. And that kind of made me go, I'm unhappy, so I'm going to do something that makes me happy. When Brendan and I were both kids, and this Batman movie was coming out with Michael Keaton, and the theater at the time in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, was the theater in Jackson Square Mall. It was basically like the Eaton Center in Toronto. It was the central hub mall of the city, right? And I remember we went down to watch Batman, and I'll never forget, it was the first time I saw a line for a movie, because it wrapped around, because it was inside of a mall, but it went all the way around, like the entire section of the mall, down and then out the door onto the street. I had never seen anything like it in my life. And then we went in and watched it, and I was so floored by it. So floored by it. But it is one of the most special memories to me, but that was 30 years ago. Wow. That's the one that jumps out to me. Like which, now you already said, which one did you say, Ashley, was the one for you?
I feel like Bill and Ted's for me. I just remember watching that over and over and over when I was young, and now I'm like, how is it 1989?
And if you want to talk about guys who haven't aged, like Keanu Reeves.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.